Okay, obviously a great team win. I appreciate that locker room. That's a bunch of fighters in there. It's not always pretty. It wasn't perfect, not gonna be perfect, but to see those guys fight for 60 minutes, which we needed all 60, to push through guys pushing through injuries, guys out of the lineup, guys filling in. That's a resilient bunch in there. So really proud of them. Proud to get that one. And then, we know where we are, and another big one coming up in the AFC next week. But really just proud of the effort. Again, can clean up about 1,000 things, but to come away with a victory in that fashion, I'm pretty proud of that group. With that, I'll take questions. Go ahead.
How about Joe overcoming 3 interceptions and just locking in and pulling that out?
Yeah, obviously Joe made some unbelievable throws there when we needed him. I mean, the one to David there at the end on 3rd and 14 maybe, that's very similar, different but similar to the David Bell one the week before. It was hot, drifted, made some room, felt like there was somewhere to loft the ball up, and then Dave Njoku did what Dave does, and he went and, made a huge play for us. But, yeah, Joe just can't say enough good things about how he played in that fourth quarter and leading that football team.
Kevin, you guys set a franchise record today with scores in the final 2 minutes to win a game with
Okay.
5. What is it about this team where you guys are able to come through with winning plays over and over again, despite the injuries mounting for you?
Yeah, it's the greatest team game there is, and what I love about it is it takes the offense, the defense, and the special teams in a moment like you're describing. Everybody has to come through, and that's what we've done this season. I think the guys did a great job of understanding the situation and what we needed to do, but credit to the players for executing.
How about David Njoku? What can you say about the night that David had?
Yeah, just talked about David in that locker room. I'm proud of Dave and the person he is and the player he is. He's one of the best teammates I've ever been around. And the growth that he's made both as a person and a player, he's got that mentality where he fights for everything. And, I mean, he put it on display today. He really did. So we needed him. He's a great leader for our football team. I'm proud of him.
Yeah, we don't get to talk to Callahan, but what was he messaging the line who had a tough day just to hang in there? Was
Yeah,
coaching them up on the
oh
side?
gosh, yeah. Coach Callahan does an amazing job. Scott Peters, John DeCoster, those guys did a great job. It's hard. You have backups in there, and you have guys playing different positions, and he makes sure that they know that they have a job to do. Was not always pretty, wasn't always perfect. I know there's places that I can help them out for sure, but Coach does a great job, not just on Sunday. He does a great job during the week in making sure those guys are ready to go.
You talk about the defense, basically 2 pick sixes
Yeah.
and a shutout other than that.
Yeah, played outstanding. Again, I know Coach was going to talk about a couple plays that he wishes that you could have played a little bit differently, but man, to play how we did for most of that football game, again, offensively turning the ball over was the story of that game that kept them in it. And then for us to do that and put our defense in some really tough spots, they score 7 off of an offensive giveaway. So for a large portion of that game, our defense was just lights out, getting them in the 3rd and long, harassing the passer, playing the ball when it was in the air. I thought they were stopping the run. Very impressive.
We've asked you about Tustin Hopkins before, but I mean, he just
I like him.
rocks. Just again, he comes through for you.
Yeah. We took the ball to start the game, felt like the wind might be a factor, and then leaned on Dustin, and he wanted to go that way in the 4th, just felt like where the wind was going. A guy you trust. I mean, really a guy that's come through for our football team time and time again. He's been outstanding.
What happened to Joel?
Yeah, just something in pregame, just felt it maybe lock up a little bit. Tried to go, just could not. Wanted to, just couldn't.
7-1 at home. Can you just talk about how much fun it is to have the fans and
Yeah.
doing all this?
Yeah, it was a beautiful day out there, and proud of the crew that was in there cheering. And I've said this before, we need them. It takes everybody, and I'm serious. It takes our fans too. I mean, they make such a huge difference. I don't think anybody likes coming here and playing in front of our fans. We love it.
Kevin, what's going through your head on that last drive and then the Hail Mary?
I thought we're just talking and about the situation, make sure everybody's on the same page. They should not have gotten that big play to get them down there, obviously. And then just conversations about what they're going to do next. And obviously it felt like the ball was going to go in the end zone on that last one. And, you have to execute. I know it wasn't perfect by us. I know, you could say we got lucky or whatever, but I thought the guys understood what they had to do.
What's on your mind when it's sitting in his lap there?
I blacked out. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's this season, Jake. I mean, there's gonna be times that you just got to trust your guys. And again, that locker room, I trust that locker room because they work their butts off and then they fight like crazy.
The wind here is so unpredictable. How sure were you that it was going to stay that way to take the ball?
Yeah, well, you get to make the decision in the second half in terms of which direction ultimately you want in that fourth quarter.
How about young safeties like D. Bell, Ronnie Hickman coming up big in this game?
Yeah, I thought those guys tackled well. Obviously, you'd have to look at the tape, Mary Kay, but really conscientious, diligent workers. Coach Ephraim does a great job getting those guys ready to play, so really, really proud of those guys.
Kevin, when you're struggling to run the ball, you got the backup lineman in, there's pressure on Joe, and you're down 10. How do you, as a play caller, kind of come up with the plan that's going to get you?
Yeah, I mean, it's all those variables. It's all those things, and you're just trying to find ways to be explosive, find ways to get the ball out of the quarterback's hand, find ways to, and at the end of the day, you're thinking about your players, and you're thinking about Amari, and you're thinking about Dave and Elijah and our guys, and say, how do we get the ball to those guys? But that, for us in this instance with an offensive staff, it's, what's available to you, what do you feel like you can get to?
One more on that. How about finally getting a chance to go deep to Marquise Goodwin, which is
great throw. Joe handed that one off. I mean, that was incredible. Marquise did exactly what he was supposed to do, tracked it well, got a huge play there. And that game, that's a good defense. Coach Flus does a great job. I think they have good players at all three levels of the defense. So that was a tough outfit for us up front. Really impressed with that crew in the back end. So it was a challenge.
And you had a lot of backups make key plays in the fourth quarter. Cam Mitchell tripped up fields. Alex Wright had the stop. Marquise had the catch. Can you weigh in on those guys stepping up in those moments, because you don't win without them?
Yeah, I mean, it's a next man up mentality, but I think we have the right guys that are stepping into those roles, and I think that is a credit to Andrew and his staff in putting this roster together with guys that we feel really good about when we're asking them to step in for a starter.
I touched on for Amari. I know we've talked about him just all this season, but for him to be able to read those two guys, the defense, and catch that ball and then make that turn, I guess, what does that just say about his awareness in that moment? Great
football player. You're always trying to find ways to get Amari the ball. Joe fitted in a very tight window, and then Amari did the tightrope down the sideline. But very heady player, has made huge plays for us in these ball games, and we need him.